thank you all for coming this afternoon. Parents, teachers, administrators, guests, everybody who's here, thank you. The first thing we're going to do is call roll, and we have all 7 board members present, so we have a quorum. This meeting is open for business and it's legally binding. The next thing on our agenda is to approve this agenda.
Move. Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the agenda? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously. Item number 4 is our invocation and pledge of allegiance, and we will be led by Ms. Rihanna Green this afternoon. She's going to step forward and lead us in both.
All right, if you would bow your head. Dear Lord, thank you for this day and all that you've done for us. Lord, just please let this meeting go as you plan. Lord, just let everything that's said and done here honor and glorify you in everything we say and do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
If you would, stand. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Rihanna. Okay. Item 5 is listed as visitors, and do you want to call each one of them?
Yes,
Okay.
please. One of the great honors of this job is I get to invite who I want to as visitors, so it works out real well. So I've invited several visitors today, and I'm going to introduce them one at a time. So I've invited one of our distinguished graduates, Ms. Rihanna Green, to come and share. She's being part of a national program through the FFA. And so we are very pleased of all the programs that we have with FFA. So I'm going to ask her to come up and share just a minute about what she's involved in, the competition she's going to be taking in October.
Yes, sir. So I filled out an application called an SAE, which is a Supervised Agricultural Experience. It's all about job work. So I did that, of course, through my parents' business, Garrison Farm and Home Center. Well, I applied for the state, and I won first in state. Well, I then submitted my state application to nationals, which you go through this whole preliminary kind of setup, and so I went through all of that. They say if you get top 12, then you're pretty good. Well, I've been waiting for it to come back into the mail, and so they posted it on Facebook, and I got on Facebook and I looked, and I had an NF by my name. Well, an NF stands for National Finalist, and so I am top 4 in the nation at the moment. In the agricultural sales placements division. And now in October, I will go and compete against 3 other people through a whole interview process and see if I'll win first place as a national champion. So it's a really big deal, and I do it individually by myself. I don't have a team. It's all on me. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's gonna be how I perform, and I can't blame any other teammates besides me. So that's what's happening, and I'll go the 3rd week of October, and I'll compete for 2 days of interviews. So for that being said, that's pretty much a short version.
So we could have a national champion here in the next few weeks. So as an Alabama fan, I'm pretty used to that. But so anyway, our next guest is Mr. Brian Lucas. Mr. Brian, if you'll come over here, he is actually the FFA sponsor at Thorsby, and he is actually the FFA sponsor of the year for the state of Alabama. So we're doing something right in agricultural education in Chilton County. So I told him he had 25 minutes to share. So I'm going to get him to share a little bit about what he does at Thorsby, and then we'll move on.
I appreciate that. Right now we're getting ready to go to nationals. We have 3 teams that qualified to compete for a national championship this year, so that's what we're busy doing right now. It's a great honor for these kids to get to represent our county and the state of Alabama. And I promise you, they do one heck of a job at it. We've gotten real close. We've knocked on the door several times, and we're just waiting to see them kick it in this year. But these kids work really hard, and I'm extremely proud of them. And I hope you are proud of them as much as I am.
We are.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Number one, out of each category, out of each category, how many teams from Alabama get to go to national competition? One. One. Okay. You have 3 teams going. Over the past 4 years, how many teams have you had in national competition? Ballpark.
15 or 16.
Wow.
That's all.
Thank you.
And all of our FFA programs do a wonderful job, so that is a shining star in Chilton County, so everybody does a great job on that. The next group there's actually 2 groups, so I'm going to call them up here one at a time. Clinton Intermediate School, and their teachers are here. Miss Pitts, if you'll come forward. Miss Pitts and her group were recognized at the state level for their reading scores. Without going into details, let's just go real simple. They won $20,000 from the state. We'll take every penny the state will give us. So she's gonna get her. We went down last week and had her picture made, and we had a good time. Miss Pitts was actually on the news. She didn't know she was on the news, but they were videoing and they called us in the act. So, Miss Pitts, will you share about what your group has accomplished?
Yes, sir. The students that these 3rd grade teachers had last year, they took them at their scores that they had when they entered 3rd grade at our school on the Global Scholar or Scantron test, and they measured it on the scores that they received before we got them against the scores that they had in May. And the scores that they had in May put us in the top 50 schools of the state. That's how much these teachers had worked so hard and improved those children's scores. And that was only in reading. And let me just tell you, their math score was almost equal with their reading. So they took the kids that they got at the beginning of the 3rd grade year and worked hard with them, giving our taxpayers their dollars worth, and the score they got in the spring was so high, it put them in the 50 schools in the state. So I'm super proud of them, super proud of them, and the hard work that they have done.
And I want to say this because we were in the same group with Hoover, Pelham, Shelby County. That's a big deal.
There was a Mountain Brook.
There was a Mountain Brook there. So when they called Chilton County, I went, look at here. So it is very exciting what we've accomplished. So good things are going on at Clinton Intermediate School. So
Yes.
thank you very much.
Super proud. They're used to being in the limelight. They don't want to sit down.
And on that note, we have another school in Clinton that is doing great things too to assist in this. I had the honor of nominating Clinton Elementary School as a school of distinction based on what they're doing at Clinton Elementary School in all of their programs, but specifically in their pre-K program and their after-school program. So I'm not going to tell you I've known Ms. Thrillkill since I was a child, but I've known her for a long time, and they're doing really good things at Clinton Elementary School. So I'm going to ask her to come up and share, and she's got a visitor from the state with her too. So.
Yes. Can I ask the rest of our teachers?
Yes, please.
We have a large faculty, of course, and many of them are here. So, faculty members, I'm going to ask all of you to come in, and we will kind of keep going around here. And we'll circle about that. But I too would like to recognize our faculty and staff at Clinton Elementary School. They are, and I share this in every opportunity I have, one of the hardest working faculties that I could ever be associated with. I appreciate their hard work, and they work very hard to have children proficient in reading by the time they go to 3rd grade, so they can continue to make those gains. And we are very proud of those children that were recognized, because those are our children as well. And I want to commend these ladies and thank them for their hard work. We are fortunate enough to be able to start many of our children as 4-year-olds at our school. And that is largely due to this lady standing right over here. I'd like to introduce, this is Miss Stacy Ferguson. She is the Regional Director for the Department of Early Childhood Education. She is the Region 6 Director, which includes Chilton, Autauga, Elmore, Dallas, Wilcox, Lowndes, Montgomery, and Macon counties. So she has quite a job. But she has been instrumental in helping Chilton County expand their pre-K services. So I would love for all of our board members to know her, meet her, and we want to thank you for what you have done to help us expand pre-K in Chilton County. Thank you. We also are very fortunate to have a wonderful after-school program that is jointly operated with the YMCA and Chilton County Schools through a 21st Century grant that we received and which will be in effect for 3 years. Many of our teachers from Clanton Intermediate and Clanton Elementary work in that program every day, and right now we are serving approximately 300 children in that after-school program. So I know you see, as I do, that when we have the opportunities to start those children at 4 on their educational journey and continue it into after school for many of these children. We have 42 pre-K children that stay in after school every day. So we are able to extend those learning opportunities for children, which enables them to make great gains when they leave our schools. So I would appreciate you joining me in thanking these teachers.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. So, gentleman. So it is a wonderful thing to have such a good group here when it's for a good thing. So thank you for all you do, and we just appreciate there are good things going on in Clanton schools and all over the county, but when I get a chance to recognize those, I will. So, Ms. Patterson.
Okay, we'll move on our agenda. Item 6 is the Finance Department, and we will have our monthly financials and bank reconciliations presented by Ms. Williams.
Item 6 is minutes.
No, ma'am. It's been updated. Hit refresh.
Well, I did refresh. It was off when I came in here.
Yeah, we'll take off earlier today.
Okay.
So for August, we're supposed to be at 92%. We're at 94% for revenues so far and at 90% at expenditures. We are currently over 2 months operating funds, so we're doing great for August. And that's all I have.
Okay. All right, and we will go to item 7, and we'll do each one of these letters individually. First, item 7A under personnel is resignations and retirements. So we need a motion to approve the resignations and retirements.
Second.
Okay, is there discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the resignations and retirements? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously. Item 7B is personnel new hires. So we need a motion to approve the new hires.
Second.
Is there discussion?
I'd like to ask that we table them because I spoke with Mr. Griffin before the meeting started.
Is that a motion?
Well, yes, I'll make a motion to table them. I spoke with Mr. Griffin before the meeting started, and when we got all of this stuff for our subs, our hires, and everything, we would get certificates showing if they were certified, if they had done the certified sub. None of that is being given to us, and I didn't get this until 1:51 yesterday, and I didn't have time to look them all up. So I would like the rest, the hires, the subs, well, I guess hires right now, tabled, because that's what we're on. I'd like to make a motion, yes, that's what I said, I'd like to make a motion to table it.
Is there discussion? All in favor of tabling the new hires? Any opposed? Okay, so that motion does not carry. It fails, and we will continue. We already had a motion and a second. Is there further discussion other than the motion to table for those?
All right, I've got further discussion then. We have one person on here that is being contracted out to sub that is making more than half of a teacher's salary, and I realize they're certified, but we have other certified subs that come in and sub for us, and they get certified sub pay. And I got a feeling we won't be able to get our certified teachers to come sub for us if we continue to do this. I'm not for it at all. I mean, is he more qualified than a regular teacher, or I have a problem with it. And I'd like to know why we're paying them more.
Do we need to executive session discuss the situation with the person name?
No, if you don't say anything.
I'd like to go to executive
Okay,
session so we
all
can
right.
explain the whole thing.
Okay, so we need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay,
Can we-
discussion?
Can we go into executive session to discuss this if we're not discussing name and good character?
If
I
we're-
mean, I just want to know why.
My understanding was that he would be discussing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, is there further discussion? Okay, all in favor of executive session to discuss good name and character of this potential employee? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. So we'll go into executive session if you'll step out, and then we'll call you back in after this discussion. Okay.
Mr. Norman.
opposed? Okay, that motion carries. So we're back in regular session. We're on item 7B. We had a motion and a second. We had discussion. Is there any further discussion about new hires under item 7B? Okay, all in favor of approving the new hires, 7B? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Item 7C is the list of substitutes, and we need a motion to approve the substitutes.
Second.
Is there discussion?
Is there a reason why we're not getting the paperwork now?
It's all online. Just, we
So
had-
we're gonna have to look for it, so if we have to look for it, can I get it more than 24 hours in advance? So I have time to look up all of them?
this was posted on Thursday.
Didn't show up on mine until yesterday at 1:51. But
I mean, I won't have it any earlier because of the deadline for employees to turn in their paperwork, but anybody, I mean, in the public can search certificates online. You just search under T-Cert and put their name in, and you can pull it up to see how they're certified. The recommendation is no longer added because that had confidential information, and when our minutes go public, so does all their confidential Social Security numbers, medical conditions, and everything else that's uploaded. So I sent an email back in early August that we will no longer be uploading that information.
Okay, is there further discussion about substitutes? Okay, all in favor of approving item 7C? Any opposed?
I recuse myself.
Okay, so that motion carried 5 to 1 to 1 recusal. Item 7D is reassignments. We need a motion to approve the reassignments.
So moved. Second.
Okay, is there discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving item 7D, the reassignments? Any opposed?
Recuse.
Okay, that motion carries. 6 in favor and 1 recusal. Item 7E is the leave request, and we need a motion to approve the leave request.
So moved. So moved. Or second.
Is there discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the leave request? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously. And then item 7F is permission to post, and we need a motion to post a full-time custodian position at Maplesville High School.
So moved.
Second.
Is there discussion? Okay, all in favor of posting the full-time custodian position? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries 6 to 1. Item F2 is a motion to post a social worker counselor position.
So moved. Second.
Is there discussion?
this is gonna be out at Career Check.
They're gonna be the central office.
No, it is based at the Pass Academy.
Pass
It will-
Academy.
It will serve as a social worker counselor that work with K through 5 and with mental health issues.
How many K through 5 do we have that go to the Pass Academy?
They won't be working with them at the Pass Academy. They'll be going out to the schools, working with those issues at the schools. So if a school calls, they'll be there to help when they can, but like, let's say a school calls in and says, oh, we've got a situation at Clinton Elementary, we'd like for you to come out and work with this child. They'll work in conjunction with the counselor to assist that child with mental health issues prior to recommending them for further counseling. So mental health issues are a major concern in our system, but they'll be specifically working K through 5, but they'll be there to help the Pass Academy in general as well.
So we're gonna be hiring a certified social worker?
The
What's the
job
job?
description will be based on social worker and counselor, so it will have some aspects of social work in it, yes ma'am.
And how are we paying for this?
It's going to be paid with Title IV funds. I think it'll be a really good thing. It's been needed from the K through 5 perspective for a while to give them some help, and then and they'll also be there to support for the Pass Academy as well. And we were fortunate to get those Title IV funds to do that with.
Is there further discussion? Okay, all in favor of item F2, which is to post the social worker counselor position? Any opposed?
I recuse.
Okay, that motion carries. 6 in favor and 1 recusal. Item G, it doesn't require a motion, it's just listed in your agenda as the contract employees that were approved at the July 18th meeting. So we're going to move to item 8. Item 8 is child nutrition program. 8A is consulting services. We need a motion to approve for CMP to hire Fit Kid Solutions. It's $750 per day for a maximum of 2 days.
So move.
Second.
Why are we hiring this?
She was Miss Hayes.
Yes.
Share
Well,
that.
we are starting this year with the first audit in the state, and with me being new, my mentor, I have a mentor, and he just encouraged that we get someone to come in and to help me with it so that we can do good on our audit, just because I'm new and it's in October. So he just encouraged me to have somebody to come in. This lady's been in the business for 30 years, and so she just knows what she's doing, and she can help me so that we get a good audit, basically. That's what it was. I think she'll only be 1 day. I did it for a maximum of 2 days, but I do believe it was just for 1 day.
You're only getting her in here 1 day, or was that 1 day a week till after the audit?
1 day, period.
You're only
Maybe
gonna have her
2.
1 day?
Yes, ma'am. Up to 2.
Well, and I don't mean to be knocking or questioning you, but I know there's 3 people at the central office that have worked in CMP. And it was just odd to me that nobody can pull papers for an audit.
Well, there's just some new computer stuff as well. That's something I'm not really as aware of, as this lady that actually does it for a living and goes around and helps. So she just has a lot of knowledge. I have met with her, like just a consultation with her, just to kind of give me kind of an overview. And there's just so much new stuff that she is aware of, that we feel like she could help me with.
There's a lot of things that were recently passed that we haven't done in the past, so it's really not just pulling paperwork, it's a lot of procedures that need to be in place. And
Right.
so she should be the
That
best.
we haven't had in place.
It's new stuff that the state is recommending for us to do, so it wasn't needed in the past.
Will this be paid by CMP?
Yes.
Is there further discussion on 8A? Okay, all in favor of approving for CMP to hire the Fit Kids Solutions? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously. 8B is a motion to approve a bid for a serving line at Clanton Intermediate School.
If I may make a statement, since we only had 1 bid, direct Mr. Jackson, the child nutrition supervisor or the superintendent or the 2 are authorized by law to negotiate with that bidder for a lower price.
That's correct. Yes.
So I suggest we allow the superintendent and or the child nutrition supervisor to do just that.
Okay, so it doesn't require a vote.
I was concerned with that too. Do we normally mail these to the folks to bid on them? Because 3 folks that usually bid didn't bid. And I saw that we just posted it on the thing, we didn't mail them out.
Melton.
We did mail them, because it didn't say it. It said that we just posted it on the website and on the thing. But y'all did mail the
Yes.
others.
We mailed to 5 different companies, and that's the one that responded.
Okay, we'll move to item 9, and there are 2 letters under 9. First, 9A is Superintendent's Professional Development. We need a motion to approve Superintendent's Professional Development for School Superintendents of Alabama Fall Conference.
So moved.
Is there discussion? All in favor of approving the Superintendent's Professional Development? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously. Item 9B is procedures for reconsideration of library books and instructional materials. We need a motion to approve the procedures for review of objections to library books and instructional materials.
So moved.
Second.
Is there discussion?
Does the state not pre-approve books? The state doesn't have a list that is pre-approved. Well, I have a problem with this contract because by the time you get completely through, it could be 40 days. and I think that problem should be settled before then.
That process was taken directly off the American Library Association recommendation for consideration for objection to library books and instructional materials, so that's the process they suggest, so it was taken directly off that. We supplanted those positions with our board with what they recommended, so.
So all these steps go through before it's ever even brought to a board or anything?
Yes, ma'am.
But it could be taken off
Yeah.
after step one. I mean, it doesn't have to go through all of it.
Right. Yeah, if they, like for example, they go meet with the principal and they come to some kind of resolution, you'll never see it. If they don't come to resolution and it goes before a school-based committee, then that school-based committee makes a decision, then they have the right to appeal that to the district level committee. The district level committee makes a decision. If they have a right to appeal that to the board, then the board makes a decision, that decision is final. So if it sounds like I spend a lot of time dealing with that, I spend a lot of time dealing with that. So it's just a recommendation of the American Library Association. We have a policy in place that puts in step that the superintendent has to have the procedure in place to follow. We don't have a procedure in place that's been approved by y'all. So
We used to have.
yes, sir.
I don't know when,
It was approved a
But-
while back.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
I was
sir.
gonna say in 18 years.
Yes, sir. And this process is very similar to that process, but every procedure I've seen when it comes objection to library books, instructional materials is a multi-tiered committee process that eventually ends up at the board level, almost like a Southern Baptist church with committees. So that's just how it's done. It gives the local school an opportunity to look at it, then the district level, and then the board finally makes the ultimate decision.
In 18 years, we've had one book that made it to us.
Yes, sir.
So do instructional materials, do we not have a list from the State Department, we have to buy certain instructional materials?
That's textbooks, not instructional materials. They have a textbook list, but not instructional materials. So for example, if a teacher decided in history class to use a primary source material that was objectionable to those students, then the parent guardian could challenge that. They can't challenge the textbook because the textbook has been approved by the state. But whatever that material is being used, it could be challenged. So for example, let's say they use some kind of a primary source material that related to something objectionable, that used language or whatever that they didn't feel was appropriate. They could challenge that. So it could come all the way.
Well, do we not already vote and approve instructional materials?
Not instructional materials, supplemental instructional materials, only textbooks.
Well, I just have a problem with it because I wished it would go shorter.
Me
That's
too.
a long time, a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so on 9B, is there further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the procedures for review of objections to library books and instructional materials? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries 6-1. Item number 10 is school and shop request. I'm going to recuse myself from item 10 and ask Mr. Mims to preside, please.
All right, we will move to item 10, school and shop request. We'll do these each letter at the time unless there's an objection. Item A is recommendations from the Transportation Department. Do I have a motion that we accept the recommendations? There are 4 of them.
So
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Shannon, second by Mr. Smith. Discussion.
This bus route at Jemison, is this the one that we added a couple of weeks ago? that we're
Special needs
approving?
route. Yes, ma'am.
Then, on the fueling, is this the same process? And I tried to look it up, but it
Yes,
was
ma'am.
not on there,
It
that we
is.
paid last year.
Yes, ma'am. The only change would be if some of the individuals who are fueling either added the number of buses they're fueling or they reduced the number of buses they're fueling. They're being paid by the bus, so we change those numbers based on the need annually.
So they fuel these buses every single day?
They're paid $1 per day per bus, so they fuel the buses as needed.
We've been doing that a long time.
Yes, sir.
Other discussion.
The only other thing I'd like to know, how many routes and how many students to Career Tech? I asked this last year too and never got it. I mean, are we sending folks to Career Tech morning and afternoon from every school? Or?
No. I can tell you just because I did that. Chilton County High School, there are, you want to know the number of drivers or the number of routes?
Routes and students.
Okay, I don't have the student load numbers now because those are taken up on the per day.
Okay.
We have 2 full-time drivers at Clinton, who are paid as full-time employees. We also have 3 or 2 as-needed drivers that take up the extra load when needed. So we save money by doing that because we're not paying them a full salary for that. They're being paid as needed. So if that changed, we could facilitate that change without them being a full-time employee. At Verbena, we have 1 full-time driver who provides services at Verbena and no as-needed drivers at Verbena. They go in the afternoon, I believe is correct. At, I'm scrolling, so bear with me. At Jemison, we have 1 full-time driver and then 2 as-needed drivers that we pay to provide services as needed. And these schools go back and forth all day long, morning, afternoon, based on whatever schedule's made at the Career Tech Center. Maplesville has 1 full-time driver, and then we have 1 that has as needed. And I'm almost to the end, bear with me. And Isabella has 1 full-time driver who's a full-time driver in the morning, and then because we don't know if the route's gonna be needed from year to year, we just added this because the number of students at Isabella, he's being paid as needed for the afternoon route. So I can assure you we are way more cost efficient than a majority of systems because of the way we do our vocational routes, because we don't have full-time drivers. It would be so much easier from the standpoint of the transportation supervisor to have full-time drivers, because you could just say, I've got 14 full-time drivers and they can drive. But because we try to be cost efficient, we employ these as needed drivers, and there's a lot of logistical that goes into that, but we save a ton of money by doing that.
So how does Thorsby get there?
Thorsby has 1 full-time driver. That's all they have, 1 full-time driver. So every school has 1 full-time driver at least, and then as needed if they're needed. So that doesn't cost us money long-term if they're not needed from that next year.
Further discussion? All right, all in favor of all 4 items of the Transportation Department? Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Patterson?
Go ahead and do all of 10.
Did you abstain from that vote?
I recuse from all of number 10.
Okay. Item B, the Pass Academy, we have 1 referral. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, Chilton County High School, 2 recommendations. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of accepting the recommendations? Opposed? Motion carries 5-1. Item D, Jefferson High School, 2 recommendations. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor of the recommendation from Jefferson High School? Motion carries unanimously. At this point, I'll turn it back to Ms. Patterson.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mims. Item 11 is old and new business. And for new business, I would just like to say that there's going to be a work session on September 26th at 1 p.m. And Mr. Jackson will preside over the majority of that meeting. So if y'all just make a note of that.
When is that?
That is on Wednesday, September 26th. Not tomorrow, but the next Wednesday.
1 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
I have requested this before, but I hadn't got it yet. Did our transportation supervisor relinquish his contract and going into that position, the principal contract? And has he got his license yet?
Do we need to go into executive session to discuss that situation?
No, because I think that's,
I don't think we can with somebody
Yeah,
that
not
well.
different, just about
Okay.
the contract.
Okay.
yeah, it's just about contract.
Ms. Dennis, the clarification that we got on the contract for the transportation supervisor,
What about that?
the clarification we got about how that was handled for the legal opinion we got, how that was taken care of. Can you share that with Ms. Price?
Yes, he did not have to submit a resignation. It has to do with the different levels of jobs. And he moved from one position as an administrator to a tenure track position.
But the administrator job was contract. The transportation is not a contract position.
That's right.
So he relinquished his contract.
I got legal opinion from Jane Williams, and I emailed that out back a month ago, or 2 months ago, when we talked about it. I will have to get that. I mean, we'll have to revisit that. I can't remember, because I laid that to her desk whenever she gave me the written on it.
Okay, well, has he got his license? Because it was pending that too.
He went to new driver class 2 weeks ago and will be tested next week. And that's not something that we can set. That's set by the Alabama State Department of Education Transportation Association, and they set that based on their needs, not ours. So.
Then I have a question on, there was not an employee on reassignment. We have an employee that has been going to Jemison to do interpretation 1 day a week. And now he's gonna be staying at Pass Academy all week. Do we not have to vote for him to
that was just
change
part of,
campuses?
That was just part of his job duties. So his job duties were just changed so that he could remain on the campus at Pass. So he was going out and doing ISS, but we did not receive the grant to provide access to all the schools that have ISS. So we removed that program at Jemison as well. So none of the schools will receive ISS because we didn't receive that grant. So it wasn't a job change of placement. He's just not going out and providing those services.
Okay, and the ceiling at Jemison, can we re-vote on those bids, or can you tell me why it was took off the agenda? And I know you didn't ask for it to be took off the agenda, but
We'll reconsider that at a later date.
will we still be using those same bids?
We'll look at how we facilitate that legally before we pursue that later.
Okay, and then the last thing, do we have any teaching out of field?
Ms. Dennis, do we have any teachers teaching out of field?
The answer is the same that I've given you the last 2 times. We have some people that are pursuing a provisional certificate. They have not been approved at this point. When they are approved, they will be in field. Other than that, we have no one out of field. If there's someone in particular that you're interested in checking on, if you will let me know, I can check specifically. Or you can check specifically by looking at the certification site. But unless I have a name, I don't really know, where we're going with that. Not to my knowledge, though.
Okay, and I haven't got those AP scores either that I asked for. That's all I got.
Anybody else have anything in old and new business?
I do.
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about bus drivers, and I know it's a sore subject, and I know it's hard, and I know we don't have enough, but I do know this. I know we have mechanics driving pretty much on a daily basis. Mr. Griffin, you probably know a lot more of this than I do.
Yes, sir.
But I don't think that's a good idea. Our mechanics driving. But I know we have to do what we have to do in order to get the children to school. I know that. But I was told, and I don't know if it's true or not, but anyway, that there have been days that all of our mechanics have been driving buses and no mechanics at school. If that's true, or at the bus shop. If that's the case, that concerns me a little bit, especially in the wintertime. If the bus breaks down, we have children on a cold bus and nobody to go get them. And you could ask me, well, what's the answer? I don't know what the answer is. But I do know this. We need to try everything we can, and I know we are, to get subs, because mechanics don't need to be driving the bus. That wasn't the reason why we hired.
What the bill would do.
You wouldn't supposed to ask him.
And I agree with you 150%. And that's a statewide problem. If you go to the beach or you go to the mountains, you see, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Well, I know, it's easy, and all of it, it's easier for us to sit back and not really sort of hard, how we have those mechanics out there, and we always fall back on it, that's not fair to them. That's not fair to them at all. And Mr. Right, we went on vacation, we go north, Alabama, bus signs out of those, these drivers. You get in Tennessee, bus signs out of those, we need bus drivers. You get into Georgia, see the same thing, bus signs, bus drivers. I understand that. And you ask what's happening, I don't know, we know this. I think that our subs, and this is a budget, from a budget standpoint, they can be paid the same thing, we got drivers, because they do the exact same job. Now, they have to be the exact same thing, regular drivers. Say, well, this one, I understand, but we have issues, and you know better than I do, but it is something that we need to be thinking about.
I agree. And listen, we are coming to another point. This is just life. We're gonna have to start bringing them back. I'm just throwing this out there. That's gonna happen at some point. Because we're in dire straits making the drivers. And I mean, every system is trying. Been productive, because unfortunately, when the economy gets good, they don't need insurance or everything, they make that small amount of money, and so it's hard to hire, and so we've lost drivers. A lot. And you can't fault them. We had one driver that we trained, and he was headed in the right road, man, because he got a job to road like 5 times when he was driving gas. So I paid him back, it's good to see us, nobody was supposed like, so. But he is right, that does make me.
If I'm right, I've seen signs all over the county.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
and, I don't know anything else to do, but keep up. Eyes and ears open, everybody. If you can find somebody or hear somebody, be willing to substitute them. Please let the customer know and superintendent, because that's possible.
Yes, sir.
What did they find out about the sidewalk at Isabella that was suspended?
Mr. Smith is not here because he had a illness, and he's not here today, but the contractor that we're looking to use was going to look at it today. He was, again, because the economy's good, he had other larger jobs, but if we could finish that one, and we didn't feel like that was a emergency situation, but he's supposed to be getting on it this week, so. We love the economy being good, but it hurts us in some ways, so.
Do you want to say something about that, Mr. Swindle?
Are there those systems that allow retired drivers to just drive a bus?
Yes.
But we don't do that?
No, sir.
That's all of that.
Is there anything else? I know before we go to superintendent's report. Okay, item 12 is the superintendent's report, and item A is about facility name.
I make a motion to approve naming of the multi-purpose facility at Isabella High School in honor of Mr. Curtis Smith. We'll put a recognition plaque on the inside, and we'll dedicate the building at a later date.
So moved. Second. Third.
Is there a discussion? All in favor of naming the building at Isabella after Mr. Curtis Smith?
Congratulations.
Any opposed?
I appreciate that.
Item B.
No, what's that?
He had me teared up. Why am I teared up? All right, let's see, moving forward. There will be a reception, and this is supposed to be at the end. We had all this other stuff to add, so we're going to have a reception after next month's board meeting, immediately following to honor Mr. Jackson for his many years of service and the board members for the years of service after the completion of that board meeting. So please invite your friends and family, and those that don't get invited, we're going to call them, invite them anyway.
So moved.
So, item C is career tech. This is a motion to approve Isabella, Maplesville, Chilton County High, and Lee Core Tech to attend the Moultrie Ag Expo in Moultrie, Georgia on October 17th.
So moved. Second.
Is there discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving Isabella, Maplesville, Chilton County, and LaCroix Career Tech to attend the Ag Expo? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously.
The next is a motion to approve the bids for security vestibules at various schools in our system to be awarded to CRL Lovelady, who was the lowest bidder at $211,000.
So moved.
Second.
Which schools is it that was on that bid?
Oh. Hang on, I can tell you. I think I can tell you. Miss, will you run and get that plan off my desk?
Yes, sir.
I can show you directly.
Will it complete them all?
I believe it completes them all but one. And so, truthfully, the bid came in well below what we thought it was. I think so, Jemison Middle, yeah. And the bid came well below what we anticipated, so we're gonna have enough funds left over to be able to do exactly what we wanted to do. So, that was another example of who knows with the economy, because I was really fearful we wouldn't have any bids at all, but they came in well below. Hold that in, you can be Vanna White. We got Maplesville High School, Clinton Middle, Thorsby, let's see. All right, let's see. It will be Thorsby, Maplesville, Verbena, Jemison Elementary, Clinton Middle, and so he's doing Jemison Middle and Isabella, because we hadn't yet determined what's going to happen at Isabella, because that's an open campus. So, but it will take care of all the facilities what we had planned. So
So the $211,000 includes everybody but Isabella?
Yes, Isabella and Jemison Middle. Yep. And we'll be able to take what was left of that and finish that well below what we had budgeted for that. So it worked out really well. All right.
Is there further discussion about the bids for the security vestibules?
Will we have to rebid those schools, Mr. Rick?
So look, Freddie's gonna do it himself.
Oh, he's gonna do it himself?
Yes, too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor of approving the bids for the security vestibules at the schools? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously.
Motion to approve bids for transportation to purchase 31 regular school buses and 2 special needs buses.
So moved.
Move that we accept the bid of transportation south for these buses.
Second.
Is there discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving these transportation bids? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously.
A motion to approve contracts for law enforcement entities on the Safe Schools program.
So moved.
Second.
Is there discussion?
Oh, I don't know how to answer this, but is this for the, law enforcement we're putting in the
Yes,
school?
yes, sir. It's an agreement with the sheriff's department to provide law enforcement, 2 at Verbena, 1 at Isabella. There's an agreement with Thorsby for a law enforcement officer at Thorsby. There's an agreement with Maplesville, law enforcement officer at Maplesville. An agreement with Jemison to provide 2 at their campuses. And then the city of Clinton is providing theirs, they're paying for theirs, but there's an agreement in place so that our liability is negated. So they take all the responsibility for their training and all that good stuff. They
Do
just
you
bring
know
Grayson
the
up to pay
total
for it.
cost?
Sir?
You know the total cost?
Yes, sir. It's 200 and something thousand. 287. 287.
I would say this, that this is one of the things that the lady from across the tables, both of us have discussed this and wanted this, and I know the rest of the board members does, but this is one of the best things
Yes, sir.
that we've done since I've been,
Yes, sir.
one of them,
Yes, sir.
since I've been Board of Education.
And I've been dragging the safety coordinator and whoever else will go with me around to all the city council meetings and the county commission meetings, thanking them because they didn't have to do that.
And thank you.
So they've been very helpful with that. We appreciate that.
And Lord, whoever helped, we'll thank.
Is there further discussion about the law enforcement safe school program? Okay, all in favor of approving these contracts? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously. Then item 13 is a motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn.
We have a second?
Let me, can I have some?
Yes. We'll take that motion off the table. Go ahead.
I've been, ever since I've been coming here, which has been a while, pretty old, attendance reports have been put in our box. And I don't know of anything we've done to kind of recognize the ones that's leaders or wins out in here. I know it's not a contest, but I know one thing, you have to work at it
Right.
to get the number that's on there.
Yes, sir.
And I see some good numbers,
Yes, sir.
and I see two good ones.
Yes, sir.
And I'd like to, some way, think of some way to recognize the school that,
Yes, sir.
that does the highest
Attendance.
attendance.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We've got a very good attendance officer too that stays on those who choose not to come
Who
to
is
school as
that?
well. Celia Flanagan.
Flanagan.
Yes, sir. Because we have some students that don't like coming to school, and
Good.
she follows up with them.
I didn't know we had anybody that didn't like to come to school. But I would like to see
Okay.
something done.
Yes, sir.
Recognize, y'all know what I'm talking about. You have to work at it.
Yes, sir.
Move that we adjourn.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of adjourning? You are adjourned. Thank you.